Hello, welcome to chapter 21 of the third treatise of A Course of Love, the identity of the true self. So we start this chapter talking about the idea of truth. And I find this to be a bit confusing for people that might not have encountered it before, because in the past, when we hear a term of the truth, what we're talking about is a belief system that someone has decided this is the belief system I'm going to attach myself to, and I'm going to use it as a structure from which to live my life. But that's not what we're talking about when we're talking about actual truth. Because as we see, it's not a set of facts, and it's the same for everyone. So that means you can't believe in this God and I believe in that God, because it's the same. And there's only one truth, and it's all that is real. And your real self exists in truth. And your personal self exists in illusion. So, we remember from our studying the House of Illusion that in reality, the illusion is actually something that the real self contains, created for itself to have that experience. But it's not true. So now let's talk about the personal self. The personal self is attached to an individual living in time. It's only a concept, a set of information, subject to change and interpretation. And if you think that this isn't true, look at your own self-image. 1 minute, you look in the mirror and you think, dang, I look pretty good today. And then the next day, you look at yourself in the mirror and you think, oh, I can't even go out of the house. It changes all the time. And so that is one identifying clue that it is in illusion, because it changes all the time. And it's a concept. It's the fact that I was born on this day, and these were my parents, and these were my siblings, and I went to this school, and I did that, and I majored in that. All of that is a set of information that is being used to construct the personal self. So verse 8 reminds us there's only one truth, and untruth must now be denied. So we're not looking for the truth, because we already are the truth. We're already the accomplished. We're looking to deny what is not true and see what remains. Verse 10, you have no experience with certainty other than certainty of your own identity. The very identity this course has disproved. So we're talking about within the realm of your human experience. The only thing that you've been absolutely positive about is your own identity, your point of view from within your viewfinder. And now we're telling you, guess what? Who you thought you were? Not true. So the personal self is illusion, and it's not truth. So where does that leave us in the realm of certainty? You are certain of your personal identity due to facts, your personal history, individual characteristics and abilities, thoughts, which you've claimed as your own, creating your self-image, and they are always changing, as we talked about before, how your self-image can just change on a whim. Beliefs, which are ideas about the kind of person you are or the kind of person you want to be, your worldview, your experiences, all mind activities. Memory, identifying with thoughts, and setting up belief structures. That's how you become certain of your personal identity. Verse 16. All of these things have contributed to your idea that you are a separate being, and as such, incapable of truly understanding or knowing your brothers and sisters, those whose personal selves and worldview cannot help but be different than your own, those whose thoughts are surely as distinct and separate as are your own. And this is the worldview that we have come from. I'm over here and you're over there, and we're separate. There's another. How do we know that? Because we're not the same. And how can we be the same person if we look different, different, have different histories, and look at things completely differently? How could that be true? You are called to accept your true identity while still in the form of a personal self. While you continue to see differences, oneness seems like nothing more than a belief. And haven't we seen this is true? We'd like to have the experience of being one, and we've been able to incorporate the belief that there's only one. But to actually know it and see it and experience it is something else. But that's what we're being asked to do. To remain as the personal self while having the experience of being one with all. Verse 18. Thus, certain things about your personal self must be accepted as aspects of your form and cease to be accepted as aspects of your identity. In other words, we come to the understanding that who we thought ourselves to be and who we experience ourselves as being in this world is all about form, not about our true identity. Creator, the creation, love, all that is, has decided to have the experience of being in form. That's what you're doing here. The personal self, continuing with this verse, the personal self will exist only as the self you present to others. It will be seen as representing your identity, an identity that has nothing to do with the thoughts of a separated mind or the circumstances of the physical body. So it's not like we're not going to continue to play the character that we have created. We're going to continue to play that character. We still are. That's what we came here to do. So that's what we're going to do. But when the shift happens, then what you present to others will actually represent your true identity, not your thoughts and not the circumstances of your apparent life in the moment. You are now asked to, 1, stop identifying as the personal self. Recognize that the character you're playing is not who you are. And 2, use your old certainty of your identity for a new purpose. And we're going to get more into how to do that. Remember the old certainty of, I'm here. I'm experiencing this. That's the certainty that we're talking about. How do we use the personal self now? Verse 20. The answer lies in realizing that your former identity doesn't matter, even while realizing it will serve your new purpose. So all of the things that you clung to previously because they helped you figure out who you were and put a label on things so that you could be that, they don't matter anymore, but we get to use them. Your old certainty and sense of self, when translated to truth, will help you become certain of your true identity. And the reason why is because it's really the ground of who you thought you were is really who you are. But without the layers of conditioning and without the layers of your false identity on top of it. So that sense of, here I am. I'm experiencing myself. I exist. The I am consciousness, that presence, like I'm here. That's the certainty that we're going to use. And 2, others will identify with what seem to be your differences. This will attract them to you and to the truth you now represent. Look how many spiritual teachers there are in the world that are different. You know, one person really likes this relaxed guru who swears all the time, and another person likes to talk to this disciplined, measured, peaceful person. Now, the time for teachers has passed. I just use that as an example of the fact that we're attracted to different people. And others are going to be attracted to you because of that personal self that you represent in the world. For some reason, they're going to resonate to that, and they're going to be drawn to you. So it's important to remember that the call to return to the self goes out to all. This is for everyone, because there is only one. So when everyone comes to the place of recognition of who they really are, then that's when the one has come home again. Verse 22. What I'm saying is that you can remain confident in your personal self, knowing that your personal self will serve those you are meant to serve. What you have seen as your failings or weaknesses are as valuable as your successes and strengths. What has separated you will also unite you. So in other words, if you think that you've been thinking in the past that you were less than because you didn't look the way you thought you should, or you didn't come from the background you thought you should, or talk the way you thought you should, and you've considered those weaknesses or failings, those are actually going to be used to draw people to you who will feel safe with that particular set of strengths. Verse 24, no leaders or followers are needed. While no one is called to evangelize, all are called equally to represent the truth and to observance of the truth. So he does say in here, that doesn't mean that if you're called to teach this work, you shouldn't teach this work. I was glad to see that because I felt really called. But what it means is that as you're working with people and working with yourself, you just keep leading them back to themselves. It's not, here, follow me, I'm the way. It's, look, follow yourself. You're the way. You're the way. Your experience is where you're going to find it. Your presence is where the truth is.